Imagine you found a genuine edge. Maybe you're a winning poker player. Maybe you found a sports bet the bookmaker mispriced. Maybe you've identified an investment with favorable odds. You have an actual edge. The math is in your favor. Now here's the question almost nobody asks. How much should you bet? Bet too little, and you're leaving money on the table. Bet too much, and a normal losing streak wipes out everything you've built, even though your edge was real. There's a formula that solves this problem exactly. It's called the Kelly Criterion. It's used by professional gamblers, hedge fund managers, and quantitative traders to answer one of the most important questions in probability. How much of your bankroll should you risk on any single bet? Today we're going to break it down from the ground up. No math degree required. I'm POW. This is the house math. Let's get into it. Before we get to the formula, let's understand the problem it's solving, because it turns out there are two completely different ways to destroy a bankroll, even when you have a real edge. Failure Mode 1. Betting too small. If you have a genuine edge and you bet almost nothing, say $1 on every hand of a game you're winning, you'll grow your bankroll, but incredibly slowly. So slowly that the time cost makes it impractical. You're leaving your edge on the table unused. Failure Mode 2. Betting too large. This one is far more common and far more dangerous. Let's say you have a 55% chance of winning any given bet. That's a real edge. Most professional gamblers would love a 55% win rate. Now let's say you bet 50% of your bankroll every time. Even with a 55% win rate, betting half your bankroll on each bet leads to almost certain financial ruin over time. Here's why. Losing streaks happen to everyone, even people with a real edge. Losing 4 bets in a row at 55% win rate has about a 4% chance of happening on any given stretch. That doesn't sound like much. Over hundreds of bets, it's nearly guaranteed to occur. If you're betting 50% of your bankroll each time, 4 losses in a row takes your $1,000 down to $62.50. You'd need to win 4 bets in a row just to get back to even. Most people never recover from a hole that deep. So the problem Kelly Criterion solves is this. Find the bet size that grows your bankroll as fast as mathematically possible, without exposing you to the risk of ruin that comes from overbetting. That optimal point has a name. It's called the Kelly Criterion, and it was invented not by a gambler, but by a scientist at Bell Labs. In 1956, a physicist named John L. Kelly Jr. was working at Bell Laboratories in New Jersey, the same research facility that invented the transistor and laid the groundwork for modern telecommunications. Kelly was studying information theory, specifically how to transmit signals most efficiently over a noisy telephone line. What he realized was that the mathematics of efficient signal transmission was identical to the mathematics of optimal bet sizing. The core insight was this: just as you shouldn't transmit more information than a channel can reliably carry, you shouldn't bet more money than your edge can reliably support. His formula, published in a paper called A New Interpretation of Information Rate, was quickly picked up by gamblers and investors who recognized it, solved a problem they'd been struggling with for decades. Most famously, the math professor Edward Thorp, the man who cracked blackjack card counting, used Kelly's formula to build one of the most successful hedge funds in Wall Street history. The formula has been in use ever since, in casinos, on trading floors, and in venture capital firms. Let's look at how it actually works. Here's the Kelly Criterion formula. Don't tune out, we're going to walk through it one piece at a time using simple examples. The formula is K equals edge divided by odds. That's it. 2 numbers, 1 division. Let's define each piece. Edge, this is your advantage expressed as a percentage. If you win 55% of your bets and lose 45%, your edge is 55 minus 45, which equals 10%. Your edge is 10%. Odds. This is what you get paid when you win, expressed as a ratio to what you bet. In a standard even money bet, like a coin flip where you win $1 for every $1 you risk, the odds are 1. In a bet where you win $2 for every $1 you risk, the odds are 2. Let's run a real example. Example 1. Even money bet, 55% win rate. Edge, 55% minus 45% equals 10%, or 0.10. Odds, 1 to 1, so odds equals 1. Kelly equals 0.10 divided by 1 equals 0.10. The Kelly formula says bet 10% of your bankroll. On a $1,000 bankroll, that's $100 per bet. Example 2. A bet where you win $2 for every $1 risked, 40% win rate. This one is interesting because 40% sounds like a losing record, but the payout is bigger when you win. Edge, 40% minus 60% equals negative 20%? Wait, that seems wrong. Actually, the edge calculation changes when payouts aren't even. For uneven payouts, the formula adjusts to edge equals win probability times odds minus loss probability. So, 0.40 times 2 minus 0.60 equals 0.80 minus 0.60 equals 0.20. Edge is 20%. Odds are 2. Kelly equals 0.20. Divided by 2 equals 0.10. Still 10% of your bankroll. This is what the formula is actually saying. When your edge is high and your payout is low, bet more. When your edge is low but your payout is high, bet less. When you have no edge, bet nothing. That last one is the most important rule in gambling. Kelly says, if you don't have a mathematical edge, the optimal bet size is 0, not small. 0. Every casino game where the house has an edge, which is every casino game, Kelly says the mathematically correct bet is nothing. That's not a judgment, that's just the formula. Here's where theory meets practice. Full Kelly, betting the exact percentage the formula outputs, is mathematically optimal for long-run bankroll growth. But it comes with a catch. Full Kelly produces violent swings. Even on a winning strategy, full Kelly betting can see your bankroll drop 40, 50, even 60% during normal variance, before recovering and growing past where it was. Most human beings, even professional gamblers, can't psychologically handle watching half their bankroll disappear over a losing stretch, even when they know the math says stay the course. So in practice, almost all professional gamblers and quantitative fund managers use what's called half Kelly, betting exactly half of what the formula recommends. Half Kelly gives up some long-run growth rate, roughly 25% less growth than full Kelly over time, but it cuts the bankroll swings roughly in half. It makes the strategy survivable for a human being who has to live through the variance. Edward Thorp, who used Kelly math to build his hedge fund, publicly stated he used fractional Kelly, not full Kelly, for exactly this reason. 3 rules professionals actually use. Rule 1, only apply Kelly when you have a verified, real edge. Not a gut feeling, not a hot streak. A documented, statistically significant edge. Rule 2, use half Kelly or less. Full Kelly is theoretically optimal, but practically brutal to live through. Rule 3, never bet more than Kelly recommends. Overbetting Kelly, even slightly, shifts the formula from wealth building to wealth destruction. The math is unforgiving above the Kelly line. Here's the honest takeaway from Kelly Criterion. The formula is powerful, but its most important output isn't the percentage it gives you. It's the question it forces you to answer first. Do you actually have an edge? Because if the answer is no, Kelly doesn't give you a number. Kelly gives you 0. And in a casino, playing any standard game where the house has a built-in mathematical advantage, poker rake, blackjack house edge, roulette odds, the correct Kelly bet for all of those is 0. Not because gambling isn't entertaining, not because people shouldn't play, but because the formula is honest in a way that most gambling advice never is. Kelly Criterion isn't a system for winning at gambling. It's a system for not destroying yourself when you do have a real edge, and for recognizing clearly when you don't. That clarity is worth more than any betting system ever sold. If you want to see how professional sports bettors try to build a real edge and what the math says about whether it actually works. That's coming up next. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'm POW. This is the House Math. See you next week.